In 2008, the electronic company Apple launched a digital storefront for their iOS devices with the most generic name of all time. One of the first games on the storefront was Super Monkey Ball, which showed that the iPhone could actually handle video games. However, not all consumers were willing to pay for mobile games. This led to the popularity of free-to-play games skyrocketing. In order for the developers to keep the lights on, though, they'd often include optional in-game purchases in their games. A genre of gaming that has become popular in recent years as a result of this is the Gacha genre. Gacha games come in all shapes and sizes and can be massively profitable for the developers. These games all have certain qualities in common, such as offering items in loot boxes, having a premium currency that can be purchased with real-world money to get said loot boxes, having limited time items that can only be obtained by chance, and are typically mobile games that are free install. Gacha games have been the subject of controversies over the years, however. In 2018, the country of Belgium banned the sale of any video games that contain a loot box system due to it pretty much being gambling without age restrictions. Today, I will be playing 3 of these games without handing over a single penny. Nintendo has had a mobile game division since the year 2015, so of course they ended up dipping their toes into Gacha hell. This division made games such as Fire Emblem Heroes, Dragalia Lost, and the game I'm talking about today, 2019's Mario Kart Tour. It's unfortunate that this is the first new Mario Kart game since 8 in 2014, not counting the arcade games. I played it when it first launched, but I wasn't a fan of how it felt. It just feels weird playing a Mario Kart game on a vertical display, and it feels much slower to compensate for the iPhone's lack of physical buttons. After a 4-minute long content download, I'm finally in the game. Right off the bat, you can notice the staples of Gacha games. The game is a premium currency, unlockable variants for characters and carts, and a subscription service named Gold Pass that promises more unlockables and a 200cc mode. Going into a race, it's a little sad to see how much they did for Tour that didn't go into 8 Deluxe on the Switch. There's tons of new maps being added constantly, skins that don't get their own character slots, and other post-launch support that should have been present in the highest-selling racing game of all time. The gameplay feels stiff, but thankfully there's now the option to play it like an actual mobile phone racing game. This mode feels better, but it doesn't save the game for me. I kinda hate how you automatically throw your items whenever you hit another item box, but that's just me. Overall, Mario Kart Tour is a fine game, but it's not going to dethrone the handheld games in the series anytime soon. Next up on my list today is Genshin Impact from MiHoYo Limited. Or is it MiHoYo Limited? I don't know. This game has become really popular in the last few months, which has earned the development studio a large sum of cash. It's currently on iOS, Android, Windows, PS4, PS5, and someday there will be a Switch port. Thank God there's a PS4 port of the game, because I'm not putting my phone through that game. I did attempt to play it on my computer, but I could not get it to start past the launcher. Right after I downloaded the game to my console, it needed to install yet more files, and after that we finally got into the game. In terms of gameplay, it feels like the game was built for both touchscreen and controllers, but it feels off on my DualShock 4. We're introduced to this pixie baby thing named Paimon, and with her combination of an annoying high-pitched voice and basically being an exposition dump, she makes this experience near unbearable. A lot of people compare Genshin Impact to Breath of the Wild, and I do see there are similarities, but I wouldn't say they're the same thing. Genshin's more of an action RPG with an anime art style, while Breath of the Wild's gameplay is more of an emphasis on puzzles and physics. I didn't make it far enough to get to the microtransactions, but I have heard horror stories of people emptying their bank accounts on this game's loot box system, known as wishes. Overall, I do not like this game, but I'm happy for you if you do get enjoyment out of it. I don't see why this game coming to PS5 is a big deal though, since you could already play it on there thanks to the backwards compatibility, but for some reason Sony is promoting this as if it was Uncharted 5. The final game I'll be discussing today is Injustice 2, and it's unfortunately not the console version. NetherRealm Studios has a decent track record on mobile platforms. They've been making mobile versions of their console games ever since the first Injustice, and they also made a mobile version of Batman Arkham Origins that turns into a fighting game. The only game they made that didn't get a mobile port was Mortal Kombat 11, which got a Switch port instead. Fighting games on mobile phones can go south really quickly. Some can be built with a smartphone's strengths in mind, while some will literally be the console versions with fake D-pads and buttons. After after yet another mandatory install after downloading the game, were greeted by a shockingly low-res logo on the title screen. Once the gameplay begins, your character is controlled by taps, swipes, and on-screen buttons. The graphics are okay, but they're definitely a downgrade from the PS4 port I'm familiar with. Just like the mobile version of the first Injustice, this game has a character card system. You can unlock characters from participating in events, or by winning them in the digital casino. I'd say Injustice 2 is an alright mobile game, but it's not going to dethrone the console versions anytime soon. And that is all for today. I wanted to show off a variety of gacha games, and I wanted to show that these games can come in a variety of shapes and sizes. I could have easily just done a bunch of idle anime gacha games, but that wouldn't have been any fun. But just remember, it's fine to enjoy these games. If you enjoy it, more power to you. Remember to be financially responsible. If you feel like you're having a gambling problem, please ask for help. Your well-being is worth a lot more than possibly getting pink gold Yoshi from a slot machine.